Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something I think a lot of you listening will probably recognize. That constant grind of creating content.
Yeah, that feeling of needing to put out amazing stuff, like all the time, while
Yeah.
keeping up with what your audience wants and trying to be original.
It's intense. It's
Yeah.
like this wave you're constantly trying to stay ahead of.
It really is a real pressure cooker. And that pressure for, consistent, top quality work, it can just zap your energy, can it?
Yeah.
Stifle the creativity.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we're exploring a potential path forward, really looking through the lens of one creator's story, someone named Emily.
Right.
We've been reading an article about her journey. It's called The Struggles of Content Creation, A Game Changer Awaits. And honestly, it struck a chord.
It's a really interesting piece because it outlines those very common frustrations, but also points towards a potential shift, maybe new ways to work, especially with some of the newer tools coming out.
Okay, so let's set the scene with Emily. The article says she loved creating, writing blog posts, making graphics, sort of the whole package.
The passion was there initially.
But, as her audience got bigger, their expectations grew too. And this demand for constant, fresh, high-quality stuff, it just started to feel like, too much, overwhelming, like she was running on fumes.
Yeah, the article paints quite a picture of that buildup. What started as something she loved turned into, a major source of stress, didn't it? Just the volume and that need to always innovate.
And there's this specific moment they describe, which I think really hits home for anyone who creates. Emily just staring blankly at her computer screen.
Oh, yeah.
After getting bombarded with requests, that feeling of hitting a creative wall, just, ugh.
That's it, that creative burnout when you're facing this mountain of tasks. It really highlights that tension, I think, between wanting to produce great work and the sort of practical limits we all have on time and energy.
And another layer to her frustration, according to this article, was juggling all these different tools.
The tool overload.
Exactly. Descriptions for this, that, and the other graphics, writing aids. The cost kept creeping up, but she felt like they weren't actually solving the root problem.
Right.
Plus, those really powerful AI solutions, they just seem completely out of reach, like way too expensive for an individual creator.
That's such a common pain point, managing all these separate platforms, each needing time to learn, plus the expense. It can actually slow you down, make things less creative, ironically. And this idea that proper AI is only for big businesses, that definitely puts up a barrier.
But then things shifted. She stumbled upon this all-in-one AI app. The article calls it Easy, Quick, Efficient.
Okay.
And what apparently grabbed her was its promise tackling creative tasks really fast, like under a minute. It sounded like exactly what she needed.
I can see the appeal. Speed and efficiency are huge in the digital space, aren't they? Being able to quickly generate ideas or variations or just get unstuck, that's potentially game-changing.
And it wasn't just the speed, though. The article points out specific things she liked. Doing image variations, removing text from pictures, changing backgrounds, all inside this one single platform. That all-in-one thing seemed really key.
Oh, definitely. Bringing all those essential tasks together in one place, that just streamlines everything. You stop wasting time switching apps, losing your flow.
Right.
Like image variations alone, imagine quickly trying out 10 visual styles instead of spending hours on one. That lets you see what actually works much faster.
And the article really stresses how smooth her initial experience was. Getting started was apparently simple. No steep learning curve.
That's crucial.
She was quickly making images, tweaking text, finding writing prompts. It sounds like it was built to be, pretty intuitive.
Yeah, if a tool's easy to pick up and use straight away, you're much more likely to stick with it, right? Low friction is key.
Something else the article flagged, which I thought was really important, was data privacy.
Ah, yes. Very relevant.
Apparently, this app didn't train its AI models on her content. So her creative output, her ideas, they stayed her own.
That's massive, especially now with all the concerns around AI and data. Creators need assurance that using these tools doesn't mean giving up ownership of their unique work. That's a huge plus.
And the impact, the article claims it was pretty dramatic. Emily apparently doubled her content output in just a week.
Wow, double.
Yeah. And her audience engagement apparently went up too. That suggests it wasn't just more content, but maybe better, or at least more timely content.
That's a powerful combination. More output and better connection with the audience. That's the dream, really. Creates a positive feedback loop.
Plus, a big factor for her, especially after feeling priced out before, was that this easy, quick, efficient tool was affordable. no hidden fees, apparently.
Making powerful tech accessible is so important. It levels the playing field, doesn't it? Lets more creators benefit, not just those with big budgets.
So for Emily, the big realization, as the article puts it, was that this app wasn't just a tool. It became her secret weapon. It helped streamline the workflow, sure, but maybe more importantly, it helped her find her creative spark again.
That makes sense. By taking care of some of the more repetitive, time-sucking tasks, it frees up mental bandwidth, right? More space for the actual creative thinking, the strategy, the fun part.
Exactly. So if you're listening and Emily's struggles sound, well, a bit familiar, juggling tools, feeling that creative drain,
That constant pressure.
then maybe her story suggests there are potential solutions out there you haven't considered.
It's definitely worth asking yourself, do those challenges resonate? Are you spending too much time fighting your tools instead of creating?
The article does mention the platform behind Easy, Quick, Efficient is called OneMen.ai. So if this idea of an all-in-one AI helper, like the one Emily found, sounds interesting, maybe that's a name to, look into further.
And it leaves us with a really interesting thought, doesn't it? What happens? What actually becomes possible when you significantly cut down on all that routine, time-consuming stuff in content creation? How much more energy could you pour back into genuine creativity, into really connecting with your audience on a deeper level? It's something to think about.